Today I'm going to be covering 4 affiliate websites that are killing it right now, showing you from ad to landing page to cart. I'm going to explain to you what's going on, why they're successful, and tell you how you're going to be able to replicate this on your own ads. Let's jump in and find out. Hey guys, thanks so much for joining us today. We're going to be covering 4 affiliate websites we think are totally killing it across our biggest traffic sources. So that's going to be Facebook, native ads, email, and finally a content website. I'm going to break down from ad all the way to order form of what we think is really doing well. And just to tell you how we define success here, because I don't have access to the back end numbers, but we've seen these ads either across multiple emails or being served for a while in the same capacity. And if people are spending money on an ad and they keep doing it, that's a pretty good indicator that it's successful. With that, let's actually jump into probably the source that you care about the most and we get the most questions on, which is Facebook. All right, so we are on, this actually isn't my Facebook page, but just so you know, we saw this one right here. I wanna break down what's so good about this. First off, as you're scrolling, anytime you have video that's gonna be exactly what your target audience wants to see, which is delicious meals and quick cuts, it's gonna attract the eye. We can just put on scrolling here, cute dog, wait a second, I see action automatically playing. On top of that, they do a fantastic job here using images and emojis, especially if you're doing a younger demographic, but to visually bring me in and put me in a mood of what they want to see, right? So you see an avocado, you see different food, there's a shrimp in there, and then also using other emojis with money, strength, time, all to kind of do these quick skimming abilities to say, oh, okay, I kind of already know what this is saying without having to read anything. And I'm seeing this video that's showing me really delicious meals. In addition to that, they are doing superimposed text in here, really quickly highlighting the points that you want to see on the actual video, which is huge because again, we want skimmability. We want to get people's attention on the high points that really matter before they click on the ad. The other thing here, just stop struggling to eat healthy keto meals, right? Really, really quick and easy. It's telling me exactly what it's about right off the get-go. Nice, short, punchy copy in here, bulleted, easy to skim. Finally, quit meal prepping all Sunday. So that's an interesting one too, because they're assuming that people are already trying to do that on Sunday, and know it's a common day. Getting to where their target audience needs to be or how they might be experiencing these problems right away. Get chef design meals ready in 2 minutes. Chef design, they're adding credibility to flavor and taste, which I visually could see below. That looks better than what I could cook myself. And so if chef's making it easy, that means it's gonna taste good. And especially if I'm a meal service, there's a good chance I'm not a great cook. So doing something where you're going to be able to make it easy but delicious is obviously a big factor. They're putting in here with the money savings, save $90 in free shipping, right? They're really focusing on the money that you're saving there, still not showing the cost, which is really important because I don't wanna make a price-based decision. I wanna make a savings-based decision, at least to click and find out more. Important to remember, this is not trying to sell you, this is trying to get you to click to shop more for it, right? To get to another experience. Then we have the shop at factor75.com. So we're gonna click on the ad. Maybe we can click on the ad, there we go. And now we get to the website. So from here, again, we could see that it's really pushing for offers right off the bat here. They wanna unlock, they wanna get a commitment from you right away. They talked about that $90 in savings. You can even still see it beyond this pop-up, discount applied, you've unlocked $90. So it gives you a little more details, but it continues to really focus on that savings. And so I have the option of decline or I could unlock an offer. Again, great website interactivity here. So this is already the offer that they're doing. They just created an opt-in and a way for me to engage to be able to essentially enjoy the offer, get involved in the offer, right? So they're getting that email for retargeting purposes, but the great thing here is I still don't know how much any of this costs. It's just saying, hey, $90 to get your email, right? They made it interactive, they made it seem fun, so there's gamification to it. Really, really fantastic opt-in here. Why this opt-in is so powerful if you don't know, I now have that email. If that customer doesn't buy, I could still retarget them, right? They might have been a little hesitant on the cost. They might have been like, hey, I want to go talk to the other person that I'm doing this diet with. Well, now I have that email, so I could retarget without even media spend, just sending them emails. Super impactful, incredibly smart, and they make it almost fun and hard not to opt into something like that. Now from here, healthy eating made simple, get healthy chef prepared meals delivered to your doorstep. So they're pushing right to seeing meals and pricing. Now, I'm going to tell you that for the product, this makes a ton of sense. We see the food porn they put all around this, delicious looking meals. They look healthy, but they're healthy in a way that I want to eat them, especially when you're seeing things in here, and I'll say things you're not seeing. Who here sees a big old salad? No, there's no salad, right? We're seeing meat, we're seeing vegetables, we see cheese, we see more cheese, a big steak. These are things that almost anybody would want to eat. It's not just a generic salad, and if they're doing vegetables that maybe people don't want to eat, they're still portraying them in a way that's really appealing. Like, I really do want to eat that broccoli and cheddar. It's making me hungry right now. It is pretty close to lunchtime as we're filming, so that could be a reason. But they're doing a fantastic job here. And then again, just above the fold, they now have their star ratings too. So it looks delicious, it looks easy. I came in through food, and now I instantly have some credibility right from the get-go. Because this is a very simple ask, we're not trying to do anything complex, there's not a big long story, I'm really trying to drive, you're gonna save $90 in an impulse buy that's gonna make you like getting food easier. You could be more aggressive with how soon you show that CTA. If this was a product that was gonna take more storytelling, I need to, sell something that was complicated and more specific, this would be a really bad idea. So I wanna make that distinction that when you're doing this, know what the sales page looks like or know what the offer looks like and construct your ads for this. They constructed ads that are like delicious food, savings, impulse buy. That is the whole thing they're playing for here. And at a minimum, give me your email on an impulse. So really important. I bet they run their ads around mealtime as well. So as we're getting, I mentioned this is before lunchtime. It probably was served up to us because it knew that lunch was coming and food was in the mindset of the viewer. So another thing to pay attention to when you're getting those ads. So here they're doing a skim thing to just quickly explain, because they got somebody probably bought into this, but they might be not sure exactly what they're getting into. So really quick, simple explanations with some fantastic animations showing you this is how the process works. And then again, it's just giving you some more, food factors to show this is what the product actually looks like. Look how delicious it is. I can't say delicious, sorry. But really, really fantastic stuff here. More bulleted points. This part I really, really love. Fan favorite recipes of your order, right? And why fan favorite so big is, one, I'm getting the credibility to say that yes, this is good. But the other thing is it's social proof, right? One of the big reasons that we purchase the items that we purchase that we don't always talk about is we buy things to make sure that we can identify that we're part of a group of individuals. It's an auto selection of the type of person we are and the tribe that we want to be a part of. So something like favorite meals taps into that social pressure and that desire to be a part of something along with everyone else. So when I see that everyone's enjoying this meal, not only think, oh, that's social proof, but then I want to be part of that group. I want to be part of the people that loves the barbecue pulled chicken. They're just like me, right? So we're actually now buying just to be a part of a group of individuals. And so using something like fan favorites, or if you have something that's going to be, a multi-option, be able to show that social proof as a way to identify me as a social segment like this is doing is really powerful for conversions. And again, with a demonstrative product, something that's very demonstrative like food, great images go a long way. So if you're going to be showing images of ingredients, of food for a diet program, they better look sexy and tasty as hell. If it looks like something that's on a cafeteria menu or one of those sketchy restaurant you went to that you thought, they probably use this weird cheap menu to kill cockroaches with, that's not going to go well. You need something that just looks beautiful. And if you showed anybody, I could probably show a vegetarian that barbecue pulled chicken and be like, yeah, that looks pretty good. I'm salivating a little bit right now because you're doing such a good job. So, and I would recommend, if you can't find good stock images or if you want to do your own, hiring an actual food photographer would go a long way. They can be expensive, but even on Fiverr, you get people to do a great job with it because it's a different kind of talent. So you can see they move all that, and then eventually they actually show the pricing, right? Another thing they're doing really well here, most popular on their largest meal option. And they're also looking at, it's only $9 a meal. So I'd have to do math to say 9 times 12 to figure out my cost. Most people are not going to do that. We are not great at quick mental math. People see $9 per meal and they think, hey, 12 meals, great, it's most popular, I'm going to go along with that one. Although 6 meals ends up being the cheapest, which is actually kind of weird. But in general, this is just where I think you're getting a really, really nice CTA section that they have here, and they're building off that social proof again, which is actually further supported by, oh, I skipped over it. Where's my fan favorites? Oh, yeah, favorite meals. So they're doing a really good job there to drive that. They do have an option for more now, and if you're a little bit hesitant, you get more of that social proof and it's specific reviews from people talking about it. Then again, they're hitting the coupon, claiming that offer for that email, FAQs, so on and so forth. But let's jump into the get started section. So we can see here, they give you more options in selecting. This is unique to this product, so obviously you don't have this many selections here. But again, the one thing I just say here that's really important on here is just the cohesion, right? The more similar that it feels and the more cohesive it feels of an experience for a buyer, hugely important. From ad to landing page to order form, I feel like I'm in the same place. So if you're an affiliate, you're finding that you have a huge drop off and say your click through to ad to actual conversions, you most likely have really severe incongruencies amongst ad all the way to order form, or landing page. Make sure that these things look similar. That goes a long way into providing trust and building a good conversion experience. Last thing I'll mention here that's great, that $90 offer that are pushing to continue to drive urgency and impulse. They have a countdown timer on it. I think they could make this even bigger, but really, really effective to say, hey, you just got this great $90 off, but guess what? It's only good for 30 minutes to be able to use it. So really fantastic there. First time it shows up, guess what? It's on the order form. So I don't want to leave this. I'm going to make all my decisions here. So again, just to kind of recap here, guys, they did a great job capturing and segmenting the target audience with a really lively ad showing impulse things and using the images to drive my hunger response, as well as the emotional challenges that I'm probably not feeling like I'm enjoying the food I'm eating, but boy, I'd like to and still be healthy. So they also use a coupon and a promo to drive a lot of urgency and a great deal, and we in the social proof aspects as well. So think about that in your ads, guys, and you'll definitely find yourself getting a much more successful Facebook campaign if that's where you're driving your traffic. On to the next one. Okay, so the next one we want to cover is going to be native ads. So just so you know, I always like to say, we're not trying to show Breitbart because we're politically motivated by Breitbart, but they do have a lot of native ads, and that's the only reason we're choosing this. That is my CYA statement to make sure that we are apolitical here at ClickBank. But what I'm going to show right now is, for those of you who aren't familiar with native ads, this is going to be an ad that looks like it's a part of a website or a content website. The one we're going to focus on here is do this to get rid of rodents. Now, I picked this one out specifically because it's so darn simple, and it shows the image of a mouse and kind of a big, ugly one on a desk inside a home. For anyone that owns a home and does not like the idea of mice being involved with it or any sort of rodent, which would be me, that would instantly attract my eye. And then do this to get rid of rodents. It's just so straightforward. So anybody that has rodents, unless they have them for pets, really doesn't want them. So it's just super simple, super straightforward. And one of the reasons why I really like this too is even though I could see that it's an ad, I'm probably not even going to pay too much attention to that if I'm motivated by whatever this product would be. It's going to catch my eye. It stands out quite a bit to the other image next to it, right? I'm seeing a lot of talking heads, a lot of images of, gray-haired white men. And then here we are, we see, a mouse right there. So I'm like, oh, wow, okay, that jars me. It pays attention. It's very, very simple and direct. I think sometimes images are really, really powerful when you're doing native to really catch the eye initially. And then knowing you don't have a lot of space for your native ads, getting something that's direct and to the point, using a proper image and pairing those two together could make for an effective click-through. And if I can learn how to click. So we go on here. This is labeled, again, they have to put that it's an advertorial in here. But again, look how this looks exactly like another article, right? So I don't feel like I was on a content website, I was reading articles, all of a sudden I go to an ad, but boy, this ad just feels like another article. It even has ads on the side of an ad, maximizing their space. So something I would actually really encourage you to do, because boy, if you put some of those, this is just Google display that they're putting in there, most likely, or some sort of dynamic ad serving software, they now get affiliate commissions on their other affiliate dedicated offer. Super smart. Smart not only from a monetization standpoint, but it makes it feel more like where I just came from. I don't feel like I have a disparate experience, which makes me start thinking, am I in an ad, From here, again, great imagery, right? a mouse eating what looks like a household X. I think that's a persimmon, but could be a tomato. It's just some sort of vegetable or fruit. So instantly that's going to make somebody that doesn't want mice go, holy crap, I need to get rid of this. From here, it just reads again and really focuses like an article, but I really like the first line. Wouldn't it be nice if you never had to kill another rat or set another mousetrap in your house? Thanks as brand new advice, millions of Americans never have to worry about seeing another rodent in their house again. Yes, please. That's exactly what I want. A really nice qualification right from the start. Now it's going to go on and explain that. Again, we see great images in here. And then it goes to the product and explaining the product of what Pest Reject is. And just describing this more. We see social proof on here, which is really important, right? And you could look right here and see kind of what they're saying, but is it really worth all the hype? You can see that they have social proof, all that good stuff. Lots of different comments in here. And then we jump into cost, and then they're putting like that. And now they're currently getting on sale for 50%, right? So they're driving all sorts of things down here. They do have natural comments on here. So be aware if you're having a page that could be a troubling part if you don't have control over that. But from here, multiple CTAs that just are embedded into the link, and then it goes to the landing page. From here, again, they did a really good job. Don't miss our one-time fire sale. So they created congruency. It's similar images, right? We see some of the images that were used there. Also on this page, it looks very similar, and that's important to see that congruency like we talked about before. And again, yes, I want 50%. So on this page, we have the countdown timer, 19 hours, stock alert. Everything's really driving towards this fire sale. #1 rated pest repeller in America. Really, really simple. They could do a simple early CTA on this, again, because of the page right before, spending all the time talking, educating on the subject, and connecting the bridge of I don't want rodents to now I want to get this great deal on this pest reject thing. So this goes more in depth with some of the technology. Again, social proof, putting that all very heavy, but a very short, simplified page because of the work that was done beforehand. So then, yes, I want 50%. Again, just on the order form here, they have some nice branding. Social proof again. Cohesive above the fold imagery is really good. Oh, they have an exit pop, which I didn't see last time. So this is great. So you can actually save an additional $10. That has a countdown timer to it. And then it's just selecting from here. So again, this is really pretty solid stuff. Very simple. And I think sometimes simple is really important, right? Simple, effective marketing lasts a lot longer and is a lot easier to execute on if you do it right than complex, big, long stories sometimes, which could be breaking. But if you have all that space to figure it out, you might have a lot of areas that it's breaking from. So something like this is really, really effective. I think did a great job if you're looking for an example for a native ads item that could do well. One last thing I'll mention on here, this price point, right? So we see $240. I mean, this is the price points on this. An average are probably normally going to be well over $100. So on a physical product, that's important to get native ads to work. You really need something that's going to be over the $80 to $90 range for a product like this. Next up, we're going to go to a content website. So I started this one really simple. I just Googled in something. It's most people with lots of times content websites, unless they're regularly going to them, they're just going to Google a question or an item. So we did natural weight loss pills. We have a lot of advertisements here, but the one I wanted to focus on was the very first content article that popped up. 12 popular weight loss pills and supplements reviewed. So Healthline is obviously a huge content company here, but again, they do some really great things, and there's a reason why they're so good at it. So we do have obviously served up ads in here. We don't need to worry about that, but I really want you to focus on nutrition, and the thing I really love in here, it has this check mark with evidence-based. That is so disarming right off the bat to tell me I'm getting credible information, which is super important. Even though you're going to be offering affiliate offers, and they do put links in here for affiliate products, I don't want to think that you're only telling me about something because you're making money, right? So when you put evidence-based in there, that's making me continue to think, okay, I could trust this. This is just balanced, fair information. I also think just 12 popular weight loss pills and supplements reviewed, the fact that it's really straightforward and it's not sensationalized, because this is going through Google content where people are already asking a question, sometimes not being aggressive could be in your favor because they're doing it most likely because they don't trust ads or places they're served to. Remember where your position is when you're doing content marketing. You need to be the advisor, the trusted advisor. So if you start showing things that make you not being trusted, you're not going to be as successful. And they also put an image right here of who the writer is with a link to their work. Obviously, not everybody could do that, but again, we're talking about transparency and trust. Right at the top, I think is incredibly powerful, particularly depending on what your demos are. So if you did have writers that fit demographics, boy, if I was like a woman looking for this and I see like a woman within my demographic also wrote it, win, win, win. This one I don't think is doing that, but just an idea out there that really jumped out to me. So they have some, right? They do have some disclosures that they have to put in here. So if you're putting that in small writing, here's our process. They're explaining that and give the link for individuals here. Again, really great images are key. They don't overly push their links as well. The other thing here is it's very readable. Oftentimes I see these review sites and there's just huge blocks of text. Most people aren't coming in here to read a novella. They're here to skim and be more informed. So make sure that you do 1 to 2 sentences. Keep it very skimmable. Use bolds, and just look at the breaks in this, right? None of this seems intimidating for me to read. So you go through here. They also are putting things in here like caffeine, but they're going to drive to caffeine pills and things like that. But their links are just super straightforward. They have very simple, easy to understand. They break down for consistency, how it works, effectiveness, side effects. Make sure it is consistent, right? Those are some things that are going to be important. So I kind of have a general range of what to look at each time. So again, when you go and click on these links, it'll just drive you to the sales page. It could be through Amazon. It could be a direct link to their landing page. It doesn't really matter. We're not going to click on these, but they make it so embedded and easy to drive on these hyperlinks. And now they're doing to other articles on some of these too, so don't worry about that. But it's really impactful, and it continues to show and make it seem like, hey, I'm just here to give you good advice. And by the way, if you want to buy this, here's how you do it. So you're just entering yourself right where you want to be in the decision-making process and rolling it out to the website. The great thing about doing it this way is you don't always need to have as aggressive marketing if you don't want to on those sales pages, because you're effectively getting people when they're asking for the question, wanting information, and you're answering those questions for them. So by that time, they're much more warm to buying because of your recommendations. So let's move on to the next one and last one, although I would say it's the classic and the OG, which is email. So when we look at email, what we're going to really look for, and I'm actually going to show you guys as we go through, is one, deliverability, and also what catches your eye. So it might be different for each one of you, but I'm going to pull some that really jumped out to me. This is my honeypot email is what I call it. But anytime I see a really great product or a company out there and they're asking for emails for opt-ins, I have this email in here. So anytime you need to go look at email marketing, I could go check it out, and I have a ton in here. So what we're going to look through here first is the fact that you want to look at ones that are in my primary inbox. So we could see that there's a ton here in the promotions tab. That means that I'm most likely not going to look at them, even though there's some great ones in here. I just want to take a moment and say, hey, these are in the primary folder. These are ones that are getting better deliverability. So the fact that I'm looking at them is a really, really good sign, versus if I wasn't looking at them, that means I'm not going to open them up. That being said, one that did a really, really great job on their subject lines that I did want to show you and wanted to walk through here is this one. So because it captured my eye and I totally stopped and looked at it anyway. And I know that they most likely have some really, really fantastic deliverability outside of this one. So, but we look in here, again, this is from an individual that was the individual when you bought the product. So this is what would be a buyer email list. So that's how I entered in on this, but it comes from the person who was the character for that product. So when you see that, that's going to be familiar. Now you can see other people are going to play with that from name. I think it really depends on your list and your audience. If you have no relationship to that, be a little bit more experimental, like Defender Union here. I just want to get another example. Let's see if we have one with a different from name that might be interesting, like From the Universe, for example, right? The Universe isn't the name of a product, but it jumps out to me, and you can see that's used pretty often for theirs. Here's another one with Your Balance. So it's From Your Balance, How to Prevent Falling at Any Age. That's a pretty good one to jump out. We can see this made the main inbox and is really going to attract somebody coming in. So we'll actually go from here. So from here, we see that it's Your Balance, How to Prevent Falling at Any Age. If I'm concerned about that, it just catches your eyes right away. And that's important to remember. You're not just getting opens. You want to qualify your opens for your offer. An empty click to somebody that doesn't qualify doesn't do you any good. So you just want to get the right people to pay attention. So this is a very short email. I'm a bigger fan of shorter emails. Obviously, there's long ones too. Just know what your audience responds well to. But this is an example of a really good short one. So you can see here, I want you to know that your fear of falling is 100% justified no matter what anyone tells you. This is huge because it's really already building into the idea it's not your fault. People say you're crazy. You might feel crazy. You might feel alone. One of the biggest drivers of people feeling angry, misunderstood, sad, frustrated, why they want to go find a solution is because no one understands them. They identified this right off the bat. They're immediately connecting that I am on your side, moving over to the individual that's the reader. A really, really great first statement. So you see, not many know this, but every 11 seconds, someone over 60 in this country falls, which results in a trip to the emergency room. Again, I know I'm probably targeting an older demographic, and I'm now putting fear. I'm saying, hey, your fear is justified. Let's dial up that fear and remind you why you're afraid of it. And then we're going to put that even more dramatic. By every 19 minutes, somebody dies from the result of their fall. That's a whopping 28,000 deaths a year from trips and falls. Super dramatic, right? So if you, again, were worried about falling, I am now at a heightened fear state by reading this. It's also super easy to read. I mean, these are straightforward, short sentences, not challenging by any means. Not only that, if you do slip and fall according to the data, the chances you winding up in a nursing home triple. More fear. And if you fall more than twice in 1 year, according to the research, your risk of passing away within the next 5 years increases by over 200%. That's why I want you to know your fear of falling, even if you haven't taken a nasty spill, is 100% normal, okay? But don't worry, because I'd like to show you a 10-second fall prevention, which will instantly makes your body fall proof within minutes, right? Fear, 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 all the way up to the heightened state where it's just almost unbearable, and then say, hey, but don't worry, I got you. Super, super valuable in terms of exactly what this is meant to do. Drive to a click. And let's see if I can learn how to click on a laptop. Perfect. Again, here's a couple things that I think are really powerful is the play button on this for the click to play. And the video is full screen, right? We can see everything. And then again, we have references and so on and so forth. This is actually not the email list. This is a pure affiliate offer. So we could see here, you could either read the transcript, watch the video, and then play on the video. I won't put play here. But what I will do, let's see if I can get that back again. So if you're ever looking to get order forms, you don't want to watch a whole video, even though you definitely should. If they have a text option, it's a great way to just get to the CTA. So I'm not going to go through the entire script, just to show that it's a good looking VSL. It starts at a point of drama, which is super important. I'll actually just show you on the text portion here, because this is the same script. But it starts out here with, and I love that they do this. Help, I've fallen, I can't get up. Those ad campaigns were so successful. I think we could all hear them echo in our living rooms during daytime TV with the lady on the floor and the help, I've fallen, I can't get up. Why that's so important is this generation, we've all grown up on those ad campaigns. Pull from the shared experience and call back to that fear where we used to laugh. Now there's a group of individuals that have that same fear. Those advertisements mean something different to them. So they're doing that to really start on a peak of drama, and then they go again, let's talk about the fears. We used fear, we said there's a solution, stoke up the fear again, and then they go on and continue to describe everything and make it really great. It's a whole long-form sales page that's successful. I don't want to go through all that. There's other videos where we do break down these types of pages, so be sure to go and check it out if you want to. I just want to go here and go to the add to cart so we can see the order form, show some consistency through here. Again, they're doing a really nice job. This is actually, I think, a little bit busy, but they're showing cohesiveness. The color scheme's all the same. They're doing a really nice job here that it's safe and secure. They're also putting the big ones you want on your order form. You're going to show the money back guarantee, that they're secure. They have instant access to the digital product, and for physical, something about shipping, whether it's fast, easy shipping, there's a ship to your door. There's lots of different things you could put in there, but you need to talk about the delivery portion. So, in fact, here's another, and this is a ClickBank specific thing. Make sure you know this is what people see. I think this V whatever probably wasn't meant to be there, but it's definitely showing something that you wouldn't want. But other than that, this is a great order form. Really fantastic job of not putting too much in here, but adding a lot of credibility and really trust, which is all you want to drive when you're on the order form. It's just trust. You clicked here for a reason, and let me not give you a reason to click away. So with that, guys, we covered a lot of different traffic sources, a lot of different things. I think just some big themes I want you to remember that hold true with all of this stuff. I'm going to say cohesiveness. Make sure you're hitting the right pain points in the exact same way that your offer is. We talked about the fear of this email one. They did such a good job building fear of falling. And guess what? It was the exact same fear that got projected on the landing page and on that VSL. So make sure you're doing that. If you are not matching up your marketing, you're probably going to have a problem with success. On top of that too, build trust and segment with your ads. So you want to make sure you're getting proper segmentation and you're doing it in a way that's direct, honest, feels good. If you make it seem too salesy, or you're not qualifying people properly, you're going to get mismatches and it's going to hurt your conversions. So anyway, these are people that are doing a very successful job. If you have more questions or you'd like more videos like this, please comment on the thread below. Also be sure to subscribe to the channel as we have more content coming your way. And if you like these videos, we'll have more videos like this so you can know how to make your ads more successful and start making more bank. Have a good one. Bye.